Hello, beautiful, and welcome back to the Idlewild Retreats YouTube channel. Today's episode will be focusing on rest and pausing in transitions and in our daily lives. This has been a practice that I am learning more and more about, and it felt like it was really time for me to share what I've been working on, but also to get some messages around what all of us, including myself, could use in terms of support around rest and providing that pause for ourselves and our bodies. I'm Jamie Ehrenberg with Idlewild Retreats, and this is my journey of following my intuition and becoming my truest self. A lot of people have been talking lately about rest and how important it is. What I've been personally finding is I've been integrating it into my days, but I'm also in forward looking and looking back, seeing how important the rest and the pause is when we're making big transitions, really is for our whole system. When I talk about our whole system, and if you've taken a tune with me, you know that I'm talking about the full somatic body. That is our mental body, our emotional body, our spiritual body, our energetic body, and our physical body. So there are all these layers of us that need support, need to be connected to and listened to. And when we are resting, we are allowing ourselves to have this opportunity to recharge in whatever way it is that we need. So, my husband and other people in my lives, hello to all of you, have been going through big transitions like retirement or shifting careers or shifting jobs. And for example, my husband really wanted to retire and had all these things that he wanted to do, this big list of things with our house, things that have just piled up over time. And right after retirement, he had a hip replacement. And as soon as that began to heal, it became really apparent that he had to have his other hip replaced. And so now we're in this waiting game of when we're able to actually have that surgery. And in the meantime, he's having to rest. What I feel like happened here was that God was really being adamant about what my husband needed in terms of rest after all of that work for 30 years in a high stress career, which really most careers are these days, but his is a little bit more than most of ours. That the body, every single part of it, needs to rest and just be able to be. It is definitely something that we don't give ourselves enough time for, and he's being forced to do that. And I think for his body, it is the best thing that could be happening for him. He's, of course, going to come out of it even more mobile than he's been, but that rest will be something that he is being forced to take almost 6 months of rest. And so for any of you that are shifting in careers or shifting into retirement or even trying to shift jobs, what if you took some time in between and just allow your body to recuperate and rest? So that is one of the things that I have found, that the more I do, the more I am able to get clarity on what's next for me. And I don't want to say too much more there because I have guidance that came through as well. The other thing when we talk about rest is actually daily rest. And then now I'm going to talk a little bit more about what that means and how I incorporate that in. There's two types of rest. There is complete rest and active rest. Active rest could be something where you're gardening, but not doing heavy work. You are walking, you are out in nature doing something, but you're still doing, but it's not something that heavily involves your mind. So most of you is able to relax, but you can tell there your physical body is not actually stopped. Most likely your energetic body isn't either, because it's taking in the stimuli around you. Even if it's good, it's still taking that in. And then there's complete rest, which is stillness, which is laying flat and doing nothing. You could focus on your breathing, you could not. If I do that and my mind is still going on too far, then I go ahead and use my breath to bring myself to calm. And often I find myself moving into a liminal state, like a theta state, where I'm there, but my whole body is just so relaxed, and my whole system is able to process what's been going on and really create a reset for me. I try to do that once or twice a day, where I am laying by myself without my phone, with no other interruptions, on my bed with the door closed, and having 10 to 15 minutes of just laying like that with absolutely no agenda and no stimulus. So I'm going to offer that as two routes for you to think about rest: that fully still rest and the active rest, and as well as daily rest, like those micro moments, and then the bigger rest, all among big transitions that might be happening in your life, and just allowing your body to fully come down from whatever you have been experiencing. That said, I have 5 tips that I have from my guides that, again, they're for me just as much as they are for you. And so I'm going to get into those now. So the first tip was that rest is not a nice to have, it is a necessity. And I feel that so deeply. Again, if we're talking about what it looks like to fully rest and recharge all layers of our soma, that allows us to operate from a really different place than if only part of us is rested or we're not rested at all. The more I experience rest on the day to day, the more focus I have, the more clarity I have. And I feel like I'm getting into one of the other messages, but I really am just so much more myself, so much more myself. And isn't that what we all want to be, and not jumbled up with other people's energy or other expectations? So the second tip was that rest makes space for joy. And I can definitely say that this is true for me. When I feel centered and relaxed, I am experiencing much more of the joy that's all around me. I am able to look out the window and see the hummingbird floating outside my window, which has been happening more and more, and I love it. It feels like a great sign for me. I am able to notice the flowers, the bird sounds outside. And if those things aren't your jam, it's just being able to appreciate and slow down a little more and allow in all of that joy that is part of what makes us human. That's part of the greatness of what we get to experience while we're here. Number 3, and I've alluded to this, rest allows your entire system to reset. Again, we have 5 layers of our soma that all need to be able to be rested. And sometimes even at night when we're sleeping, we're not getting that opportunity. So being able to consciously lay down and allow all parts of us to be held, to just stop and allow what's been coming in to integrate, really is going to make your world a different experience, truly. And I can just firsthand tell you that. Tip number 4, rest allows you to connect to who you truly are when you are being and not doing. We've talked a lot about that on this channel, about what it is to be versus to do. And this is a core value, I think, of what our souls are really here for. It's not to produce, it's not to do all these other things. There is this learning for sure, but we have our own essence, our own frequency that is part of who we truly are. It's Leo season, so it's perfectly aligned for that. There's so much that's in Leo right now. astrologically, who you truly are is meant to be and to be seen. And rest allows you to connect more and more back to that core tenet of who you truly are every day. And the more we practice actively and passively resting, the more we are able to show up as our full true selves. And lastly, rest allows us to show up with so much more clarity and ease. If you take 1 10-minute lie down a day, try it for maybe 7 days, see if that's possible for you. It is something that, like all practices, you will have to probably set a reminder for so that you actually do it, because until something becomes a habit, it's hard to remember to even do it, especially if we're trying to do something completely new. If you did that for just 7 days, the amount of ease in your body will be so different. Likely the clarity of what you should be focusing on, what's really going to move you forward, will all be there for you in a way that it likely hasn't been. I am actually going to plug a tune here. That is the focus of what we do in that 8-week program. We spend time getting to understand the language of our nervous system, our bodies, and our intuition through consistent practice. And we are being held and doing these practices together, and then we do them in between our meetings over the 8 weeks that we're together. And it is a time for us to build those habits, to get to experience on different days what it's like for us to do these practices, so that we get to learn more and more about what is for us and what is most supportive for us at any particular time. In this new round of Attune, we're actually going to be spending time resting during our session together. I believe in it so much. We're going to close out each session with rest so that we can actually integrate what happened in those sessions together. So again, I will put a link below so that you can find out more information if any of this is intriguing you. And if you are just somewhat interested, or you've taken Attune already, I am offering a mini attunement that'll be a 1-hour practice for us to just be able to drop in to do our intuition, our nervous system, and our body's language, and offering that complimentary to the community so that we are all able to be supported and move through the world with so much more clarity and ease and more as our full true selves. I hope this was a supportive episode for you. I'm sending you so much love, and I would love to hear from you which of these practices or which of these tips resonated the most and why. I can't wait to see you again soon.